Okay, hi everyone. Today I'll give a brief introduction to 3D websites, what they are, and how they bring immersive interactive experiences to the browser. So these can range from product visualizations to innovative developer portfolios. And to kick things off, I'd like to show you one of my favorite 3D websites that feels more like a fun digital journey than a regular site. So this site is called Joshua's World. It's a personal portfolio, and instead of a traditional project list, users can wander around, click on objects, and experience his portfolio through an interactive environment. So Joshua's World is a great example of how 3D can elevate a simple website into an engaging interactive experience. As we've seen, 3D sites go beyond just presenting information, they encourage exploration. And another example of a 3D website is the Dotpad website, which uses 3D models to let you explore the device from every angle. You can examine details like, for example, this product, the tactile display grid, making it easy to understand how the device works. And this interactive approach makes the site more engaging and effectively showcases the product. And both of these websites are built using Three.js, and it's a perfect example of how 3D can turn a regular website into an experience. The good news is you don't need to be a graphics expert to build them. With tools like Three.js and React 3 Fiber, we can describe 3D scenes just like we write our normal React components using JSX and props. That means you can build rich 3D scenes using familiar patterns like components, hooks, and state. Three.js is a popular JavaScript library that makes working with WebGL much easier, while WebGL is the technology that allows your browser to render 3D graphics using your computer's GPU, but it can be complex to work with directly. So Three.js provides helpful tools and abstractions like cameras, lights, materials, and shapes so you can create 3D scenes without writing low-level code. And React 3 Fiber is also a React renderer built on top of Three.js. It lets you write Three.js scenes using React components. So now that we've covered the basics, let me show you how this works in practice. So firstly, over here, I'm importing the canvas component from React 3 Fiber. So canvas is like the container where our 3D scene will be rendered. And right now the canvas is empty, so nothing will show up. So I'm going to prepare by setting up my scene inside the canvas. So when you are setting up a scene, you have to keep in mind that a scene will contain objects, a camera to see the objects, and a scene puts it all together, basically. So over here, we can take our empty canvas and we can make things interesting and add a simple donut-shaped object. So over on the left, I'm creating a donut mesh, and the torus geometry, it just defines its shape and size. The mesh basic material just gives it a color, and on the right, I simply add it to my canvas. And there you have it, we have a donut. It's not the most impressive donut you've ever seen, but it's a start. And I'm just going to show it in the browser because I don't think this picture is doing it justice. Over here, we have a donut. And we can make things more interesting and we can take it up a notch. So I'm just going to pull up my code editor. So over here, this is the donut object I was using, and we can make it into, well, I just called it a pretty donut, where we can follow the same pattern with the mesh torus geometry, but over here, I'll be using a standard material instead of the basic one, because the standard material that responds to light, and then I'll give it like a preset, like a sunset light, and I'm just going to place that into my canvas. And there you can see it's already looking a lot better than the original one. It responds to light and you can interact with it. And I thought for a final example, let's say you have a 2D image, maybe a logo or shape you designed, and you want to bring it into your 3D scene as a proper 3D object. So in my case, I'm just going to take the BBD logo. I don't know if you can see it right now. So I'm just going to take this logo and I'm going to import it into my project. But I first converted into a .gltf file because that is the standard file format used for 3D models. So I've done that off screen already just for convenience. And then there are online tools that will help you convert this GLTF file into a JSX component without you having to write any code. So in this scenario, I didn't write any of this code. This was generated. The only thing that I had to set was the actual color of the BBD logo. And there you have it. That's a React component of the BBD logo. And if I want to place it in my canvas, you can see it's fully interactable. It is a bit noisy because, I mean, I wasn't using the greatest JPEG image, but there you have a 3D model in your scene. So in conclusion, whether you're starting with a simple shape or bringing in custom 3D models from 2D designs, React 3 Fiber makes it incredibly simple to build interactive 3D experiences. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you found this crash course on 3D websites interesting.